Hello, I welcome you all to today's video and to my channel if it's your first time. My name is Shiryuki, and if you haven't done so yet, you should like, comment and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can get notified when I post a new video. In the links below, you can find my Instagram, my Discord server and my newly created Twitter and TikTok, which I will be posting on frequently. And with all of this out of the way, let's jump straight into this. Getting into the video, I welcome you all to today's character spotlight, and the character we are doing today will be Game of Thrones' very own Arya Stark. So, if you are new to this channel, the way these character spotlights work is that I will be going through a character and their kit, today being Arya Stark. So today, I will be taking a deep dive into Arya Stark's kit and looking at 6 different sections, each being timestamped so you can see the sections of the video. The 6 sections are the character's class, character's rating, origin, passive and keywords, neutral attacks, and finally special attacks. So let's get started. So getting started with Arya's class, Arya Stark is an assassin class character. Kind of ironic, right? Arya's whole kit is pretty synergistic with one another, as most of Arya's moves can lead to another move. The most important move from her neutral attacks is her up air attack, whilst the most important move in her special attacks is her side special, as both moves play a big role in kill confirming with Arya Stark. Overall, Arya's high damage and high offensive playstyle, combined with not allowing the opponent any time to react and having really good kill potential early and taking over the stage, makes her a really strong assassin class character. Now, how does she fight? If you watched my previous video, which is in the link in the description below, I am talking about a fighter's rating, which is basically what type of playstyle the character has. It can be either a vertical, horizontal or hybrid playstyle, which normally represents how the character plays and how they would want to ring out the enemy. In Arya Stark's case, she is a hybrid character, a very unique playstyle which, rather than being proficient in one or another playstyle, she is proficient in both. However, this does mean she has the same effectiveness with her horizontal playstyle and her vertical playstyle, so she won't be stronger in either playstyle than a character who is more proficient in one of the two playstyles. She has a really good ring out coverage for all 4 sides of the stage, making her ring out potential really strong, which shows why she is a hybrid character, because she can cover each side of the stage very effectively. Before I move on to this next section, I will say this now, do not blame me if you were spoiled, but spoiler warning for this section. I will put a timestamp at the bottom of the screen which you can skip to without being spoiled, as this section will be talking about Arya Stark throughout the show, mainly looking at when she was introduced, big key parts that relate to her kit, as there are some references to the show in her kit. So anyway, you have been warned, and if you haven't skipped, let's talk about Arya Stark. So Arya Stark's debut was in the first episode of Game of Thrones. Her sharp sword is called Needle, given to her by Jon Snow. This sword in the hands of Arya resulted in many deaths. In fact, as an assassin, she had her very own list. But not the bucket kind, but rather the killing kind. That's correct, she has her own kill list. The list of people consisted of a very obnoxious, much hated young king, an enemy that kind of became a friend I guess, and many more. Whilst finding out about Arya, even though these people were on her killing list, she didn't really do a good job of killing them. In fact, she only killed 4 of them. But at the end of the day, she got 4 of them, but she could have definitely done better. But how did she become an assassin? Well, there is a reference in multiverses, being Arya's neutral special called Face Stealer, which is a reference to a cult in Game of Thrones known as the Faceless Man. They are allegedly an unstoppable group of individuals that put on other people's faces and complete assassinations without being caught. Arya joins the group after saving the leader of the Faceless Man, Jaqen H'ghar, sorry for the mispronunciation. After joining the Faceless Man, Arya learns how to wear people's faces to blend in and be the deadly assassin that we all know today. Passives and keywords are so important to learn about when you are learning a character. Understanding how each passive will benefit your character is important. Understanding certain keywords will be important as well, as they can affect how you would want to play a character. Starting off with the keywords, there are 2 important ones you will need to know about, being face and turn attack. The face keyword mainly relates to Arya's neutral special and air neutral special. Face Stealer. So after using the neutral and or air neutral special, a face icon should appear above you with the message face stolen, implying that you have made contact with either an ally or an enemy. So this move now changes your neutral and air neutral attack whilst you have the face icon. So rather than doing Arya's neutral and or air neutral attack, instead you will be doing the neutral and or air neutral attack of the character you have stolen the face of. Understanding this keyword is important as it allows you to set up combos of enemies or allies' neutrals, which can be confusing to an opponent if they don't know much about a certain character. Now moving on to Arya's second keyword, turn attack. Now this keyword mainly relates to Arya's down and or down air special. So after using Arya's down special, you and your ally, if in 2v2s, will be given the turn attack modifier, which causes the next melee attack to break armor and flip the enemy to face the other way. This is actually really good as this works really well with one of Arya's passives that we are about to get into right now. We are now going to be moving on to Arya's passives. So she has 4 different passives which mostly are useful in both 1v1 and 2v2s. All of them will be important to understand when learning the character. Looking at Arya's first passive, this passive is called Backstab. This relates to the keyword turn attack that I was speaking about earlier. So the reason why flipping your enemy away from you and your ally is really good is mainly related to this passive. Whilst the enemy is flipped, that would mean their back is actually facing towards you. And so Arya and her ally will deal increased damage with melee attacks if they hit enemies in the back. So this can be a very good way of getting high amount of damage when the enemy least expects it. Moving on to Arya's second passive. When you perform a neutral dodge with Arya whilst you are on the ground, this will briefly give you and your ally the turn attack modifier. This is pretty strong, as since she is an assassin class character, she doesn't have many defensive options unless you equip a defensive perk, which personally you shouldn't do as she is better at utilising the offensive and utility perks. So your dodge is her best defensive option. So utilising the dodge is one thing you will have to learn about, but also giving your team a turn attack after dodging is a very good way of starting an attack of your own. Arya's third passive is her most interesting one. So when Arya brings out an enemy, she spawns a pie that will both heal and deal slow to the enemies. This is definitely a double-edged sword as the opponent could wait to pick it up later to heal some health. However, most of the time the pie will accidentally get picked up, slowing down the enemy and allowing you to land your side special and get a really good combo started and potentially a ring out on your opponent. Arya's final passive is the only passive that doesn't work in 1v1s and only in 2v2s. So when Arya's ally is rung out, Arya is enraged and will apply maximum stacks of weakened on her next melee attack. This is just a mechanic to help you start a comeback. Now we are going to go through Arya Stark's neutral attacks, and I will be talking about what they do and any important keywords and or status effects and what they mean. Looking at Arya's neutral attack, I have spoken before about the face modifier and how it overrides this attack to the stolen enemy or ally's neutral attack when you use this attack whilst having the face modifier active. But without having the face modifier active, Arya will step back and charge a forward rapier stab. This move is quite simple, but one thing about this move is the phrase charge, which means the longer you charge the attack, the more damage it will do. Arya's air neutral attack is the same as her neutral attack. Whilst having the face modifier active, the attack is overridden and becomes the stolen enemy or ally's air neutral attack instead. But without the face modifier active, Arya twirls her knife downwards, hitting the enemy several times. Most characters' side neutral attacks are just simply either a string of attacks or a combo. In Arya's case, this is exactly the same as she will perform a combo of rapier swings and a knife stab. The first attack will cause the enemy to be put in hit stun, which is a period of time where a character is unable to do anything besides directional influence, which is where you can save yourself from going into the ring out zone, or to avoid a follow-up combo. And teching, which is where you will try to recover out of the hit stun sooner than you normally would if you were to wait. Directional influence and teching are both really important to learn about in platform fighters. the second attack will launch the enemy. Arya's side air neutral is a very good move, especially for horizontal ring outs. This move can be a very effective edge guarding tool when they are trying to get back onto the stage. This move also can be charged, as I stated before, that the more you charge the attack, the more damage you will do. Next up is Arya's up neutral attack. Now this move is honestly your least used move in her neutral kit. The damage isn't great. This move is simply Arya charging and swinging her sword upwards. Since you can charge it, it deals more damage the more you charge it. The only saving grace I can really say about this move is that this move is an anti-air option, which is a move that punishes an aerial attack. But overall, this move is quite underwhelming. Even though Arya's up neutral isn't the best, the whirling stab makes up for it. As whilst her up neutral might be the least useful move in her neutral kit, her up air neutral is by far the most important move in her neutral kit. So this move is key because when you are playing Arya, a type of combo style you will be doing a lot of the time is the ladder combo style, which resolves around you hitting the opponent with multiple moves that will cause you and your opponent to head towards the top of the screen, which will normally lead to a potential ring out. Especially for Arya, these type of combos are by far your strongest kill potential, and if you can master these and do them consistently, then you have become suddenly so much scarier to face. So this is a move where Arya will do an upward spin attack with her knife. This move is another anti-air option, so overall this move is so strong for Arya and definitely a key move. Now moving on to Arya's last neutral attack, her down neutral attack. This move is quite interesting. So what happens is that Arya will roll forward, crouch under attacks, then swipe her sword downwards behind her. This move is cool, as this move actually gives you another defensive option to dodge certain attacks due to your hitbox changing, and can allow you to escape certain situations and reset yourself. Also, since you attack behind her, if your opponent is behind her, this will trigger the backstab passive and deal more damage to them. Moving on to Arya's final air neutral attack, her down air neutral attack. Arya will charge a precision stab straight downwards. There are two main details about this move, one obvious and one not so obvious. The obvious one is once again, you can charge the attack to deal more damage. But the not so obvious detail about this move is that this move is classified as a spike move. By far one of your greatest edge guarding tools. So a spike move is an attack that is typically seen in platform fighters. The goal of these moves is to prevent the opponent to get back onto the stage. This move also has really good kill potential, as whilst you are controlling space and edge guarding your opponent, you have a great chance of hitting them straight into the bottom of the stage. So this is definitely an important move to master, as it will give you so much kill potential than you had before if mastered. Now it's time to go through Arya Stark's special attacks, and I will be talking about what they do and any keywords and or status effects which are important and what they mean. Also, due to all of her air specials being exactly the same as her ground specials, I will be including them when speaking about each of their respective ground special. I've spoken a lot about this move and how pivotal it can be, so here are some details I didn't mention until now. So first of all, there is actually a third use for this move, as you can actually press the neutral special button again to send a shockwave that stuns enemies, and then for some extra flair, she transforms into the enemy which you have stunned and starts to taunt them. Because why not, you know? Playing mind games are so key in fighting games. But anyway, if you steal an ally's face, this will cause the move to have a cooldown. Rather than normally you can constantly keep hitting the enemy with this move and it never goes on cooldown. So this move has a lot of options for how you want to approach the enemy, which is good in its own right. Another thing to talk about is the face modifier, as you can only have a maximum of 5 face icons, so it is definitely important to utilise them correctly and carefully. Now getting onto Arya's side special, and arguably the most important move in her whole kit. So first of all, I'm going to explain and break down what this move does. So Arya will throw a knife projectile that can attach to fighters. Attaching to a fighter will reduce this move's cooldown as it is quite long. So simple enough that your projectile needs to be attached to have the most effect. Next up, you can press the input again and dash to the knife's location, hitting enemies as she dashes. Now this is really important, as this is how you will normally start your combos, by hitting them. However, if you dash to the knife and it is thrown off the stage, this will give a high chance of getting yourself ringed out of the map. A cool fact about this move is she will actually go through and dodge certain moves that will do constant damage, an example being Taz's Tornado. If a knife isn't equipped to a fighter, this will mean she will not dodge enemies or attacks, so you can definitely have to be careful about when you're using this move. Be careful not to accidentally use the move before the cooldown if it didn't hit anyone, as it will stay on the stage where it landed for 3 seconds, so keep this in mind. The cooldown of this ability is 12.5 seconds if attached and 25 seconds if not attached, which can be a massive game changer for you or your opponent if not timed correctly. Another important feature is that this move can also collide with other projectiles. An interesting feature for 2v2 matches is if you pass through an ally when you go into the nice location whilst it's attached, you will give the ally the sharpened status effect. I actually don't know what this does, as it doesn't say anywhere in the Multiverses glossary, which was confusing. But if you know what the sharpened status effect does, please let me know in the comment section below. When passing through an ally, if you didn't hit any fighter with the knife, you instead give your ally the turn attack status effect, so at least you're not giving the enemy team that much of an advantage in 2v2s if you didn't attach the knife to anyone. Finally, whilst the move is on cooldown, Arya will instead do a spinning multi-hitting attack that will break armor on attack, shown by the purple effect. So this move is so important to master, as I really keep saying this, that this move is a key staple for how you play this character, so this move is a go-to move when learning Arya. Moving on to the up special and up air special, this move is definitely a lot more simpler to explain than the last two, but still really important. So Arya does a nice swipe overhead attack. If she hits an enemy, she will dash in the direction they are knocked in. This is really helpful, as this is mainly used during the ladder combo I was speaking about earlier, as this is a really good extender for said combo. Finally, moving on to Arya's down/down air special, I spoke about this move earlier when speaking about the turn attack modifier, and that Arya will dash to an ally, giving both her and her ally the turn attack modifier. I personally think Arya is really fun to watch, and she is so flashy and has all of these really cool combos. Obviously, it will take time to learn them, but mastering them will improve your fundamentals, not just Multiverses but other fighting games similar, and will also make you a lot scarier to fight against. I have one final message, so take it away past me. Hello all, I hope you all had a great Christmas and a great New Year, and I hope everything's going well with you all. I didn't expect this video to take so long coming out. I had a uni assignment that was due in soon, so I wanted to make sure that was done before working on any YouTube videos, as I personally wanted to make sure I'm doing the best I can at uni, as it is a really important time in my life. So 2023 is a new year. I am very excited to see where I go this year with the content creation, as I have a lot more content coming out. I'm very excited for the future of this channel and the community. One thing you might have noticed, which is a really positive change, is the audio, as I have a new microphone, and because of this, the process of making a video will be so much quicker due to having so many fewer audio issues now than I had before. I thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I'm excited to see what 2023 has in store for me, because this will be a great year for me. So I'm Shiryuki, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.